Hello, thank you for tuning in to this section of weekly reads. I'm also doing in-person reads in Herkimer, New York. The information should be below. If not, email me and I'll give you the details if you're near Herkimer, New York. This should be on the YouTube channel, James13 Wicca. Every now and then we get some weird people pulling funny little stunts, so I'm going to make sure that that's there. I'm going to put the decks below, and beyond that, let's go ahead and get into your read. If you want a reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thanks again, and again, like I said, on to your reading. Hello, Capricorn. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Capricorn? The High Priestess for Capricorn. I like that, because it's kind of like, what's really here and what can I actually do with it? Like, obviously you can't build something from fool's gold. You got to have something of substance. You have to have something of value. And when I see the High Priestess, it's kind of like, wait, what's going on? What really, like, what is the real value of this situation? Excuse me. It's over here. Okay, so the Moon card might be a little bit in question here. Oh, the Lover's card shows up. You know what? Not everybody needs to be happy. And I'm saying that before I get too far in this reading. Other people might be upset about this, but, you know, sometimes they just need to be. And I'm saying that in a sense of, like, I feel like whoever it is that's upset is probably going to matter to you. Because some people, they're upset. It's like, yeah, they're upset. Other people that matter to you, it could be kind of heart-wrenching a little, that other people are having a hard time with what you have to do. But the thing is, Capricorn, when you're making big decisions, when you're making decisions that count, you're looking at long run. You're looking at the long run. Where we're going to end up a week from now, a month from now, a year from now, a decade from now. You're making those decisions. Where are we going to be later? It's not just about happiness right now. Having a good time today, it does us no good if we're going to be suffering in the next couple days. Or the next week, or the next year, you know. You're making long-term decisions for a reason. And I'm getting that you might be switching something. You might be switching the course of something. I don't think people are realizing you're doing this. The current energy is very cooperative. I get cooperative. Not everything might be desirable. But that's weird. Ten of Swords comes out with this, and then the Chariot on its side, which is telling me I don't think everybody's happy with this, or something isn't right. Maybe you're the one who's not quite happy with it. Kind of like, the way things are going, we're spending too much. We're using too much. Our supplies are going to run out. This doesn't make sense. I feel like the overall energy is people are getting along and people are having a good time, but you're like, we're doing, no, we're spending too much. We're not planning for things the right way. Even though this is a good card, it might be something that's kind of like bothering you, like something that just keeps popping up in the back of your mind, like, we got to make better plans. We can't, no, we're doing too much. We got to conserve. We got to make better choices. It's kind of like we should be buying more canned goods. We should be putting more things in the freezer so we have enough for later, so we don't have to go traipsing all over the place for this stuff. While we know it's available. It's kind of like if you lived like an hour and a half or so from a grocery store. It's kind of like, you know, when the winter comes, it's going to be hard to get there. We need to make sure that we have what we need stocked up, so that way if we can't get there, we got this all planned. It's kind of like whatever is going on. It's like they're doing it like, we're just going to go every week. We're just going to buy enough for every week. And you're like, no, we need to start planning ahead now, especially there's sales, there's things, there's discounts. We need to take advantage of that now. And I get the energy around this is like, no, Capricorn, not yet, Capricorn, not yet, Capricorn, not yet, Capricorn. And you're like, no, I think we should. Things could change. And if things change quickly, there may not be enough supplies there for us when we show up. If everybody has the same idea at once, you're thinking we could just go that week and just stock up the week that we need to. But if everybody feels that way, we're just going to get stuck with the scraps, and we're an hour and a half away. This is not okay. I feel like this is how, that's like the analogy for this one. Everybody else is like, oh, it's fun, it's good, and you're like, no, 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 no. We need to make plans. We need to think ahead. We need to think ahead. And you're not negative about it. You're just realistic. It's realistic. I feel like I want to get ahead of it, but I don't feel like I'm able to. So you make movements forward, people put you back. All this, I feel like if you're trying to move forward, like we're going to use that food analogy, living an hour and a half from the store, blah, blah, blah. Say you're stocking up the freezer. All of a sudden, you know, you're finding out this person's either giving away that stuff or using it right away, or something is going on where the stuff you're trying to stock up is getting used before it can be conserved. You're like, no, don't, I got that not for you to use. That's for later, for possibly needing it later. You weren't supposed to have a party with that. You weren't supposed to give it away to your aunt or uncle or whoever. We're saving, we're conserving for later. And I feel like every step forward, somebody's kind of pulling out the rug, which I have a lot of Capricorns in my family. I've never seen that go well. I've never seen that go well. Capricorn remembers. They say, I've heard people say that Cancer remembers. Cancer does, but Capricorn really remembers. Earth signs remember anyway, but it's making me uncomfortable because I'm just like, you don't do that to a Capricorn if you have any sense, because Capricorn can be very cool and calm, but they remember. Oh, they remember. Like, how many siblings? I think I have 2 siblings that are Capricorns, and I got people that married into the family that are Capricorn. I got an uncle that's a Capricorn, and I got a nephew that's a Capricorn. There's a lot of, 2 actually. There's Capricorns all over the place. I'm just saying, it makes me uncomfortable. Like, that's, anyway, let's just move on from that, because you're going to do what you have to do with that stuff. But, yeah, you're not happy with that for obvious reasons, but you're getting along with people. And you're like, okay, all right. I feel like, for whatever reason, this is like the calm. I don't see anything really bad happening, but maybe this is going to spur forward the next cycle, because other people are going to be a little unhappy. And maybe this is why, because you don't screw over Capricorn. That's just dumb. There's a few signs that you're asking for it, and Capricorn's one. You don't screw over Capricorn. That's just dumb. I feel like when people do that, Capricorn makes provisions and makes it so I'm going to do what I want. Capricorn's going to do what you want, and then you're going to block people, so they're not going to have the ability. Like, whatever you need to do, you're going to like keep it so they can't. You're going to make it so they can't do what they did again. And I feel like that's what's going to happen next, because I feel like, all right, I see what you did. Not okay. But I'm just going to fix the wagon on this one. I'm going to still save what I want, but I'm just going to make sure you don't have access to the, for example, if you're filling up the freezer, you're like, I'm going to put a lock on that freezer. And then I'm going to put a lock on the door to the room with the freezer. And then I'm going to drive you crazy and remind you, stay out of the freezer. And then I'm going to remind you that you're not allowed in the freezer. And I feel like you're not going to be secretive about it. You're going to tell people, is what I get. Like, you're going to like, this, you did that for, I'm doing this. And I locked that freezer and I locked the room to it. And I'm going to remind you, you better stay out of there. Not impressed. I'm not impressed, is what I'm getting. And people are upset. This is the first time people are going to be upset. But it's kind of like the fact that they have the nerve to be upset. Like, they pulled some stuff, and like, this is what happens. They pulled some stuff, this is what happens. I'm getting the Chariot come in where people are trying to, I feel like they're trying to win you over. Other people are trying to help win you over. And I feel like when I'm saying to this, I feel like I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll get along, but you're still not, that is staying locked. That room is staying locked. Like, no. Like, I'll get along. We can get along, but the new rules are staying. Like, I'm willing. Smile. We can have dinner together. We can have good conversations. But the rules I set are the rules that are staying. It's still staying locked. The whole thing, still staying locked. We can smile and grin and bear it and be happy with each other. I'm willing to get along with people. I'm just not changing my rules. Excuse me. I keep getting, sometimes this is the antithesis to Capricorn. It talks about possibly Cancer connections, which is the opposite of Capricorn. It could be a very difficult energy. These two energies, while they get along with other people in common, they don't get along with each other, especially over time. It doesn't have to be that way, but a lot of times it is. It's kind of like, they're saying when that happens, because it's kind of like, I'll get along with y'all, I'm just not changing. Like, that's staying locked. Like, that's going to stay locked. Let's all get along. Let's all be happy. I'm not going to give you a hard time anymore about it. Just stay away from my room. Just don't go near there because you're not allowed in there. I'm not changing the rules. I don't have to be mean to you. I won't be mean to you. Listen, I won't be mean to you. Just, the rule is the rule, and that's how it is from now on. Get used to it. They're kind of giving some possibilities here. Just make your point and move on from it. You've decided you're not going to... If this happens the way I'm feeling it, especially, again, I know Capricorn's a little... There's a lot of them in my family, I'm just saying. Once you've made up your mind, you've made up your mind. There's no need to talk it to death. You're not going to change your mind. There's one thing I've known about Capricorn. They stick the ground. That's that. Doesn't matter, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, doesn't matter. Once they made the feet are on the ground, that's that. That's that. You don't have to make your point. You don't have to talk it to death. They're saying just make your point, walk away. That's it. You know, it's going to cause you more stress. Yes, could you stand there and make your point? For sure. For sure you could. It's not worth the stress. Just make your point and walk away. Make your point and walk away is what they're advising. Possibility. You don't have to stick with it. You're not going to change what you're doing anyway. Just give them distance. Just give them some space. Give them time to deal with it. Get yourself involved in what you want to get done. Like, be productive with that time. It reminds me of, I did know a Capricorn once when he was unhappy. He would make his point, then he had a little workshop. He would go into his workshop and he would turn on machines and make sure that, like, he couldn't hear other people talking and chattering. He would be busy. And he had I think he was hard of hearing anyway, but he would put in earplugs. And he would stay busy and get things done and get things he wanted done. So he would be productive. Like, you want to talk about it with yourself, you just go ahead. You want to complain about it, you go ahead. I got other things I got to do. I have goals. I have things I want done. I don't have time for this. And he was also that type of person. He wasn't always like that, but when he got to a point where he had had enough, he's like, this is what it is. I'm not negotiating. And then he would walk away. And that was that. And you got used to it. I got used to it. I liked him. He was an okay guy. But you knew, like, that's how it is. That's just how it is. There's no negotiation. That's kind of done. People aren't going to like that either. People are going to have things they want to say about it. They're going to be upset. They're going to say little things. Let them deal with it on their own. You don't have to be pulled into that. People say stuff. Sometimes people say stuff just because they say stuff. It's not worth investing in. I'm getting that whatever you're doing is solidifying the situation. It's for the best. This is for the best of the situation. Shock. I'm sure your socks flew right off your feet. Like, really? I made the good decision? I made the decision that makes the most sense long run? You're kidding me. Socks. Phew, right across the room. Flew right off your feet. But other people may take a minute. I feel like there's going to be a lot of questions, kind of like, oh, Capricorn, that was clearly overkill, or don't you think that was overkill, or this, that, and the other thing. You don't have to invest in these conversations. Just write it out the way you want to. Get to the end of it the way you want to. Because I get at the end, even if it ended up you conserved more than you needed to, you'll just use it the way you need to later. Like, it didn't go to waste. Capricorn doesn't set things up to go to waste. We all used it in the right time. It all made itself purposeful. When all is said and done, I feel like people are going to realize you made a decision for a reason, and overall, they're going to realize that it was a good decision. It may just take a long time for them to let it go. I would ignore the chatter if possible. Keep yourself busy, especially in this day and age. You can put in earbuds, watch something, or listen to something without having to deal with people. Like, if you have to get out of the house and get something from the store, go do that. Whatever you got to do. Once you've made up your mind, though, for the people this is hitting with, you've made up your mind anyway. You don't need to drown yourself with the conversation. Why go on with the conversation? Because some people, they really just might be venting their anger, and they might make a bad situation worse by just kind of blah, 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 blah. By you pulling yourself out of that situation, it's easier for you, and it's better for them too, because they don't have to backtrack on all the things that they said that they probably shouldn't have said. So you kind of give them an advantage too, to where you didn't give them the opportunity to put their foot in the mouth as much as they wanted to. Are we good? All right, I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.